Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Does anybody speak English? Hello, everybody. Oops. Here is Olga from Costa Rica, from sunny Costa Rica. The astrology lovers. My English-speaking subscribers. How's everything going? Today I would like to talk to you about the upcoming lunar eclipse on the axis Leo Aquarius, the full moon in Leo on the 21st of January. I see there are two people. Yeah, I don't know if there are people speaking French or watching me, but this live streaming is in English. There was one in the morning in Russian, or one in the afternoon in French, and this one is in English. Hello, guys. Great. All right, I will share with you the information that I prepared, and so I will cover the comments with my document, and in the end I will see if you have questions in the chat, okay? So, on the 21st of January, at midnight 16 Eastern time and in Montreal or New York time, we will live the full moon in Leo and the total lunar eclipse on the axis Leo Aquarius. We call the eclipses by the names of the signs where they are, the signs where we have the moon and the sun. We know that the nodes are already on the axis Cancer Capricorn, but the moon will be in Leo and the sun in Aquarius. That's why we say that we will live the solar eclipse on the axis Leo Aquarius, of the axis Cancer Capricorn, where we have the nodes. So what is the particularity of the upcoming eclipse? It has many particularities. First of all, remember that Uranus, which has been retrograde for a couple of months, it has been in Aries, then in Taurus, then it entered back to Aries, being retrograde. It's direct now, I think since the 6th of January. It got direct on the day of the solar eclipse in Capricorn on the 5th of January, right? So it's in the end of Aries, it's moving direct, it's in a direct movement, and it's at the exit of this explosive fire sign, Aries. So it will still have time to leave its signature to the lunar eclipse of January, on January 21st, forming a square to the axis Sun-Moon. So Uranus will be in square to the Moon in Leo and to the Sun in Aquarius. So such participation of fiery Uranus offers to this phenomenon of the eclipse a potential for purification. It offers to the eclipse the energy of a sudden and very powerful transformation. Something obsolete will be destroyed, something will be renewed, something will lose all its meaning because of greater insight of our soul, or because of a shocking event. In any case, if the eclipse, if the point of eclipse touches your personal planets of your birth chart and the angular houses of your chart, your life can be transformed in the most surprising and the most unpredictable way possible. Many people say that I don't feel eclipses, nothing is happening. But the processes of the inner psychological and emotional plane, the change of perspective, for example, emotional pain, intuitive revelation, insights, disappointments, new ideas, these are also events, but they're not visible from the outside. But thanks to them, the person becomes different, and therefore her environment, her field of activity, her place of residence, for example, etc., change, and life as a whole is transforming. So besides this 10 square of Uranus to the axis of the eclipse of the full moon, we have another 10 aspect on January 21st. Pretty precise 10 aspect is formed. The conjunction of Venus with Jupiter is in square to Neptune. So we may experience a risk of large-scale financial fraud, a risk of fraudulent money trafficking. So financial losses associated with the sea travel on a larger scale, right? Financial losses are associated with the trade in oil, gas, alcohol, pharmaceuticals, and perfumes. There can be financial losses in these spheres. But in the personal life of a concrete person, in everyday simple life of a concrete person, such transit can lead to financial losses also. So it's preferable to not to plan purchases, major important purchases, investments, and different financial transactions during the period of days close to the eclipse. And of course, you should know that the lunar eclipse, which is a full moon, the position of sun moon on the axis of the nodes, is a very tense emotional. Creates a very tense emotional background when we can experience irritation attacks, instability, and mental imbalance. The cardiovascular system, nervous systems are vulnerable, so we also have to be careful while when handling electricity. And I would like to remind you that not all of us will be sensitive to the eclipse. If you have personal planets, Mars, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and the cusps of the angular houses of your chart, close to the first degree of cardinal signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpion, Aquarius, with the orb of 2-3 degrees, you will be particularly sensitive, receptive to this, to the energy of this lunar eclipse, and especially those who were born between the 19th and the 25th of January, April, July, and October. It means that your sun sign will be in the orb of the conjunction of the point of the eclipse. So during the days around the eclipse, so today on the 18th, 2-3 days after the full moon and the eclipse, moderation is important in everything, okay? So we have to avoid physical and psychological stress, and those around us must not be victims of our emotional states and of energy fluctuations. The eclipses already cause this, especially the full moon. The lunar eclipse already causes considerable energy overload, so we have to manage our emotional states, and we have to avoid confrontations, conflicts, and quarrels. Okay, 6 people here, but nobody says hello. Are you listening to me? All right. For English, yes, I'm trying to do this. After 2 lives today, it's a little bit tired, but let's see. Okay. So this upcoming lunar eclipse on the 21st of January is the last on the Leo Aquarius axis, and it will summarize how we have been solving the tasks of the zodiacal axis over the last 18 months. Do you remember the symbolism of the axis Leo Aquarius? You know, reaching new levels of self-realization, unlocking creative potential, Leo, right? Directing our mental towards independent thoughts, Aquarius. And I would like to remind you the symbolism of the both axes, Leo Aquarius, Cancer, Capricorn. I talked about these 2 axes in the video devoted to the ingression of the nodes into the axis, Cancer, Capricorn. Remember, in November, I released this video. This is my own text. So the Leo Aquarius axis is the axis of group dynamics, and its goal is to learn how to find a balance between aiming for an outstanding position in a team and cultivating equality between all of its members. Equality, Aquarius, outstanding position, Leo. The Leo and the Aquarius are both able to perceive and express unconditional love, but the Leo lives it on the level of the heart in a personalized manner, while the Aquarius experiences it on a more abstract and intellectual level, showing compassion for humanity as a whole, right? So the lesson of the Leo Aquarius axis is to achieve unconditional love, something which is possible only through a balance between the heart and the mind, Leo and Aquarius. But we know, right, that nodes have already moved to the axis Cancer Capricorn, forcing us to focus on different karmic tasks. I'd like to remind you the symbolism of this axis. The Cancer Capricorn axis is the axis of responsibility, and its goal is to learn to take care of ourselves while taking care of others, something which can take the form of duties towards family, Cancer, and society, Capricorn. The Cancer wants to be reassured that we will receive care and safety while satisfying his emotional needs in the field of our personal and familial responsibilities. The Capricorn also looks for the security and support, but through social order and the rules of law, thus focusing on fulfilling his professional duties. So both signs are in search for a balance between egoism and selfishness. But this is all psychology, this is philosophy. It's nice, it sounds nice. Yeah, Alexandra, yeah, I also hope that this is over, the eclipses, and my Sun, Venus, Mars, Moon, ascendant, descendant, yeah, the last effort, and in 1 week, hot springs. All right, so I continue. So the nodes on the axis of Aquarius, Cancer, Capricorn, this is philosophy, this is psychology. The most important thing is to consider the projection of the node of the eclipses to the houses of your chart, because this will reflect the event level of your life. And the position of the nodes in the signs corresponds to the psychological level, right? So we have to see whether your personal planets are touched by the points of eclipse with the orb of 3 degrees. And if it's the case, for example, the solar eclipse in Capricorn, the 5th of January, was in conjunction with my Mercury in the 12th house, which is the ruler, and Mercury is the ruler of the 4th and the 5th house. And I spent the new moon and the eclipse on the wild beach in Nicaragua, you know, watching the sun set, and there was nobody, like wild space. This is the Hermosa, this is the beach when they shoot the survival regularly each year. And my Mercury was in conjunction with the new moon, and the energies were so low. I was like incapable to think. I needed something, you know, to do something with me, to not to perceive, not to feel the reality. Now I feel much better because it's the full moon. I don't feel bad, you know, sad, or there are no negative bad thoughts. But it was the case during the solar eclipse because my Mercury was touched. So if your planet, especially personal planet, forms the conjunction with the point of the eclipse, you have to consider this planet as the significator. What does Mercury signify? Significate of what? Sorry. Mercury is the element of the house, and Mercury is the ruler of the house, of another house, right? So you have to do the synthesis of interpretation in order to determine how the upcoming eclipse will influence your personal situation, your life. The situation, or situations, these situations that started, that were formed in winter 2017, they will be finally resolved. They will leave the apogee of the of the evolution of this of the dynamic of the scenario. Why? Because in winter 2017 we lived the lunar eclipse on the 10th of February 2017. You remember the nodes were still in Virgo Pisces, but it was the full moon on the moon was in Aquarius, in Leo, and the sun was in Aquarius, but the nodes were still in Pisces, Virgos. But this was the lunar eclipse on the axis Leo Aquarius because the sun and the moon were in these signs. The nodes changed; they moved to the axis Leo Aquarius on 9th of May 2017. So we can say that the energies of the axis Leo Aquarius already started having impact on us in February 2017. So they will be finally resolved, like a curtain is falling down. The situations will reach the apogee. You know, it depends on your personal situation. It depends on which. For me, it was on the axis house 1 and 7, partnership relationship. In my first and 7th house are huge. My Virgo, the sign of Virgo and Pisces are included in my chart. So all these 4 seasons of the eclipses of the past 2 years, they were projected in my houses on the axis of the house 1, 7, first and the 7th. So the situations in the corresponding spheres of life will reach the apogee by showing us a result. So the loop, the cycle, the circle, the loop is complete. The cycle this is the end of the cycle. Don't forget that the lunar eclipse is the full moon, it is the opposition sun moon in conjunction with the axis of the nodes, and it is projected on the axis of the houses. So 2 houses of your chart are in opposition, are in confrontation. So this will be the combination of development of the situation for you when you will be confronted with a choice concerning the houses of the horoscope, opposite houses, where the axis of the eclipses is projected in your chart. So the goal will be for you to find a balance between the 2 extremes, between 2, for example, house 7th, 1st and 7th house, me, my needs, my dreams, my plans, my ambitions, and the needs of the partner. How to find the balance? How the position of the nodes in the sign bed in which you life, the projection of the axis of the eclipses in the house. This is more important because it's the level of event. So the choices you're going to make on the day of the lunar eclipse will stay with you for the next 18 years and a half, right? Okay, what's going on in the chat? Because I don't see the chat. 7 people. Okay, at least. Alexandra, also you have when your 12th house, now it's not easy, the 6th and the 12th house. So. Yeah, mental and physical health, house 6 and 7 and 12, right? Okay, I continue because I will check the comments later. So make the right choices because you won't be able to change the consequences of your choices. That's why it's not recommended to get married, to buy real estate, to purchase real estate, to sell real estate, to buy, I don't know, diamonds. You have means for that during the eclipse because you won't be able to modify, to change the consequences of your decision, of your action. So I mentioned that during the lunar, the full moon and the lunar eclipse, we have 2 tense aspects: square Uranus. Uranus squares the axis of the eclipse. We have Venus in square to Neptune, but we also have Mars in square to Saturn. So the tension is serious here. Initiative and pressure are constrained by rational frameworks that prevent energy from becoming destructive. Yeah, this is the aspect of obstacles, but at the same time, this is the case when the obstacles on our way only reinforce us. Okay, so our dimension square Venus Neptune. I will mention quickly, briefly, the aspects of the 2 next weeks until the new moon in Aquarius of on February 5th, right? So Venus square Neptune, we will give into our instincts and our moods. You know, this aspect provokes intrigues in partnership relationships, unfounded jealousy, lies. There's also risk of financial material losses due to unreasonable management of finances. But of course, when you think about partnership relationships, manipulation, intrigues, lies from the partner, but also maybe this will be our behavior about our partners. So like total a mess. But at the same time, you imagine the full moon, the square Venus Neptune, square Mars Saturn, the full moon, the position, right? Sun moon. Then the 22nd Venus is in conjunction with Jupiter. I mean, this is the day of the exact aspect, Venus conjunction Jupiter. So the exact aspect of the eclipse is behind, and Venus conjuncts Jupiter in the 16th degree of Sagittarius. Oh my God, love, money, energy, momentum, and optimism all in one. It's like all-inclusive formula package, all-inclusive package with special privileges for Sagittarius, ascendant, rising Sagittarius, or the both solar Sagittarius. So take advantage of this transit. And I will jump through aspects. I have to mention that after the 22nd of January, on the 25th of January, Mars will be in trine to Jupiter. So after the conjunction of Venus-Jupiter, the fire trine Mars-Jupiter in the fire signs, right, offers us a desert for the end of January. Maybe too sweet, but it's never too sweet, the desert. The eclipses are behind, Venus conjuncted Jupiter. Now Mars forms a trine to Jupiter, so the end of the month will be very optimistic. So everything will be in our hands. And I remind you also that until the end of February, all the planets will be in the direct movement. So it's a perfect moment to start new projects of a smaller, bigger scale. So I jumped through aspects, as I said. After the conjunction Venus, Jupiter on the 22nd, on the 23rd, Mercury will be in square to Uranus. So nervousness in communication, tendency to make hastily decisions, even though the circumstances will require from us to react quickly, to be therefore necessary to seek maximum flexibility. There will be power outages, you say, right? Outages of electrical appliances. So we have to be careful when we handle electrical appliances on the square Mercury-Uranus. On the 24th of January is my birthday. I will go live with the tarot cards reading. Next Thursday, yes, get ready. Mercury enters Aquarius. It will stay in the sign until the 2nd of February. So what does it provoke this trend? Freedom in the field of communication. Our reflection, our thoughts, our way of thinking will go beyond the usual. The ideas will be generated better in a group, and new encounters will be made very easily and quickly. All the surprises and misunderstandings in communications are possible. We can travel spontaneously, and our trips could have a humanitarian purpose. So I mentioned Mars trine Jupiter on the 25th. On the 30th of January, Sun in conjunction with Mercury in Aquarius. Wow, good time to make clear, reasonable, and substantial decisions, because we will have the clarity of mind, a chance to convince, to inspire others. And to finish the 2 weeks, two upcoming weeks, before the new moon on the 5th, I think, yes, of February, we have two more aspects. February 2nd, Mercury in square to Pluto, Mars in square to Pluto. Impulsiveness of actions, search for the leadership will place us in conditions of struggle, of competition, and this aspect square Mars-Pluto provokes crisis of explosion, a crisis of jealousy, and increase of sexual energy also. But the same day, we'll have another harmonious aspect, Venus trine Uranus, which will not cancel the first aspect. Nothing cancels something else. Two aspects, tense and harmonious, can coexist at the same time. It's like sweet and salty that we can eat at the same time. And we can taste, we can see, we taste the salt and sugar at the same time. So Venus trine Uranus, the way of creative inspiration, unexpected encounters, promising new relationships can start. But this trine will cause emotional agitation, tendency to flirt and to go on an adventure. Since Venus symbolizes also money, sudden profits, possibility of gaining financial freedom, but all transit aspects, especially involving social planet, Jupiter, Saturn, or superior planet, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, they can stay only as a background energy if they don't touch your personal planets. So if you have, you always have to check how does a transit aspect interact with your personal birth chart. So finally, I feel a sort of, you know, release, because for me the past 2 years were very tough. That's why I took break twice. Sun in Aquarius, conjunction with Venus, on the conjunction with the ascendant. You imagine all this in opposition to Mars and Moon and Leo in conjunction with the descendant. So all the eclipses of the past 2 years, they were ironing, passing by my personal planets. It was devastating. It was exhausting. This is over now, and I feel a release, but at the same time, I'm a little bit sad, like nostalgic. I know it's insane, but I feel that I will miss these 2 years, but I don't know. Okay. Who is there? 6 people. Well, you are few, but not very numerous, but still I have to do this in English. Was it useful? I mean, did you understand what I was meaning? I was a little bit tired, you know, after talking for so many hours in different languages. Yes, Blue Bell. The orb of the eclipses, this is what I admit this, well, in the Russian tradition, you know what we admit, and normally it should be the common rule. 3 degrees before and after, the orbits of 2-3 degrees, because the lunar nodes are the fictitious points, they are not real celestial bodies. So it's not, the impact is weak if it's if the orb is more than 3 degrees. Yeah, my birthday is on 24th, so it's like already 3 days after the eclipse, so it's behind. The last year, I had my birthday between the 2 eclipses of winter. I don't even remember what I was doing, what I was thinking, what were my emotions. It's very tough, but this is what we call the karmic purification, karmic cleaning. Because when the eclipses are in conjunction with the personal planets, this provokes astral vortex. I hope I translate correctly. Vortex astral, astral vortex. They purify the astral and casual body of your aura. Yeah. Okay, look, since you are 6, I will tell you the story, because when you have 86 French-speaking people, I don't dare. It was a personal story, yes, because partnership, because I have rising, I'm ascendant Aquarius, with the Sun and Venus on the ascendant, and the Moon and Mars on the descendant in Leo. So I met a man here, a Russian man, who's Leo and whose Sun is on my descendant in conjunction with my Moon and Mars. So I mean that the eclipses, they not only hit my personal planets, but since his Sun is involved in the synastry, you're following me, right? These eclipses were provoking huge confrontations and quarrels and dramatic situations. more than 3 times, because actually what started between me and him in February 2017, when we had the first eclipse on the axis Leo Aquarius, it has lasted since that moment until now. And by the way, in 1 week after the live streaming with the tarot cards on YouTube on the day of my birthday, I go for 3 days to the spa, the Lake Arenal, to the hot springs. This is the place where everything started between me and him 2 years ago. It's insane. So of course it was partnership situation, but the most insane, of course, karmic. Yeah. There are other parameters of the synastry, but the most insane detail here is that 18 years and a half ago, when I had the eclipses projected in the same degrees of my chart, right? The cycle of the node is 18 years and a half. The eclipse is also 18 years and a half were formed in my first or seventh house. I met somebody, another man, 18 years and a half, who was born the same day as the guy that I'm talking about now, July 28th. So the two people, these two men, different, they're born different years, but they're alive. The sun in the same degree of Leo on my descendant. They even look alike a little bit. So the same story, almost copied, posted. The same scenario, the same circumstances, the same very dramatic dynamics, because his sun was the part, is in conjunction with my moon, Mars, and descendants. So the eclipses, they just, they transformed us. I don't know the future of this. I don't know. But it was very difficult. Yeah, of course, house 1-7. And like 18 years and a half, the same date of birth of the partner, they have the same eyes, they behave similarly, even though they have other properties of their chart that they don't, not similar, only the sun sign. But the sun sign of the partner on the descendant of the other partner, this is the, the indication of a partnership relationship, of a marital relationship. So yeah, it's insane. I mean, I've been asking myself this winter, I mean, when I was in Nicaragua on this wild beach, Playa Hermosa, during the solar eclipse in Capricorn, conjunction with the Mercury, wanting to be alone, because it was in my 12th house, I was like, crying, shouting out, yelling into the universe on this, on the beach, saying that I don't want to be the part of this anymore. But I know that this situation will be over, like in 1-2 weeks. He will come down because he has his own issues. Sun and Leo, come on. But it's not easy for me alone, but since there is also a story of the synastry, it's even more difficult. You imagine, we have his planets on my planets, and all this is ironed by the points of the eclipses. But as I said before, yes, you know everything. Even French people don't know that story. Come on. You see, now I laugh, but because I feel that something is behind this tension, that when I couldn't breathe, I couldn't think, I couldn't do anything. Like there were moments when it was there was improvement, because the transit sun was forming, for example, a lot during the year. The transit sun was forming trines, right, to the point of the eclipses, so the communication was better, we were seeing each other. But once the eclipse is coming up, is here again, like in two different directions, very far one from each other. Horrible. No, but this is the karmic purification. I know that. I know that. So I survived. Now I just need to have some rest for a couple of days. The next week, the spa, hot springs. This is the unique place in the world, hot springs in Costa Rica. And there will be a new life. But with the eclipse, they create what I call, I don't know in English, primary chaos. Chaos primaire. первичный house in Russian. Primary cows, you know, they burn, they clean, they empty, they pass sign areas, and we have that like pure empty field champ, you know, we can build on, we can start new constructions, new scenarios. But the eclipse, they take away from us what we refuse to say goodbye to. Okay, guys, you're like speechless. I don't know. Okay, what do you want to ask me? Because I don't want to talk about me. I'm a little bit personal. Yes, an interesting story. Okay, but I wasn't planning to talk about that. Because, well, the guy is not young, you know, he doesn't know what to do with me, because he says that I am too young for him, but he cannot live without me. So it's like a dilemma for him. He also has a karmic situation, a karmic choice to make. Whether what to do to keep me in his life, because he's not capable to let me go. But the eclipses, you know, they were like North Pole, South Pole. They throw us apart to the maximum distance. Horrible, horrible. And we live like, you know, 20 minutes by car from each other, because it's like big village, this Costa Rica, you know. Okay, yes, Victoria, seriousness. Oh my God. Do you have stories to tell me? I mean, no, I don't know. You want me to comment something? Do you have questions about your situation? Okay. Yes, maybe I will. Okay. Do you know, guys, do you use the Facebook, all of you? Yes, I would like to announce you something. Yeah. No, I mean, sharing, it's, yeah, Alexandra, yeah, this is important. Thank you for saying that. Listen, I will tell you something. 1 month before, we went with this guy to this hot springs in February 2017, when we started flirting. I was seeing him as a friend. I knew him already before, but a psychic, a very good friend of mine, a psychic, 2 months before that, she told me that I will meet somebody, I will start a story with somebody, and she described the situation, but I didn't think that this would be this guy, you see? And when I started having a problem with him in the middle of 2017, you know, with these first eclipses on the axis Leo Aquarius, I spoke to her. I was devastated. I was, you know, I wanted like to die almost. And she, as a real psychic, professional psychic, she was saying, I don't understand what's happening. It's like there's a mystical intervention in the story which might have happened. She must have happened. It was supposed to happen. Why something interferes and everything is falling apart? She is very strong. She works with the photo picture, you know, she does magic, etc. But what I'm saying here is that only astrology allowed me to understand what was and what is still going on in this situation with this guy. Because this woman, she's not astrologer. She said, I cannot explain what's going on. There's like a circle around you that pushes partners away. This circle was and still is the 2 years, the eclipses on my axis, the 1st and the 7th house. And she couldn't know that because she's not an astrologer. But I knew that. I knew, and I know the reason of what was happening in this situation with the guy, because I know that my personal planets are on they receive the projection of the eclipses. Only astrology allowed me to understand. She couldn't say. She said, I don't have an answer. She said, I don't understand what's going on. Why everything is falling apart? I know because it's because of the eclipses. Now when it's over, not like in 2 days, but once it's we arrive to the midpoint, I mean in 3 months, I don't know, you'll see. When the tension will be behind. So I mean that I believe in a very professional and impressive psychic readings. But there are things that only astrology can help you with. Mm? Psychic, they're not precise with the delays, but astrology is. And when she was commenting on my situation, but she was feeling pretty accurately the delays, but reconciliations, they were happening only when there were, for example, the transit, the aspects like of the trine of the transit sun to the point of the eclipse. These were the days when we were communicating. So astrology allowed me to know when there will be improvements in our communications. So ideally, it's, you know, to be psychic astrologer to combine, but you need to have a talent for psychic readings. A real psychic, I don't mean cards. Cards is something else. To be a real psychic reader, but you have to be, you cannot learn this, you can develop, but if it's not given from above, from God, you cannot develop it. But astrology is very intellectual, so not everybody who practices astrology can read at least cards, okay? So, my friends, look, tomorrow I will go live with a tarot reading. Tarot Lenormand reading, like today at 5 p.m. Costa Rica, on YouTube, on Facebook. On the 24th, my birthday, next Thursday, I will be live. I will go live with a tarot reading on YouTube. So starting from now, I decided to do twice per month, in addition to the astrological analysis. Tarot reading on Facebook, 2 weeks later, tarot reading on YouTube. So, and listen to me, there is something that I'm also offering in addition to that. So I will be live with the tarot cards. This is not free, please, because last 29th of December, nobody from the English-speaking audience sent me $1 single. I know it is like the donations, but at least something. Oh, something is falling down. The neighbor's house behind the wall. So if you want to be sure that you answer your questions during the live streaming, please send me something via PayPal before. I will take more time for each person. I will not pull out just 3 cards. So I will take a couple of minutes, maybe 5 or 6 minutes per person. But if you want to be sure that I answer a question, please send me something via PayPal, okay? If you don't want to ask a question in the direct mode, but in a private, you can contact me via Viber, WhatsApp, Facebook, email, Skype. You have 48 hours, starting from the hour of the live, starting from the beginning of the live streaming, to send me your questions in a private mode. Because I won't be able to answer all the questions. Well, maybe with the English-speaking people, yes, but with the French and Russian people, I wasn't able last time to answer all the questions. So you have 48 hours to send me questions via WhatsApp or Viber, okay? Having sent a little bit, a couple of dollars before, then I will respond. I will answer you with I will record the small audio. You know, I will give an interpretation of the spread. I will answer a question in the audio recording, okay? So 48 hours after the beginning of the live streaming. And this is not everything. During the 48 hours after the beginning of the live streaming, I will offer the possibility to book an appointment with me, I mean, to order the full session, full reading of 30 minutes and of 60 minutes with a discount. So if tomorrow you go to my website, I will put the link here because maybe not everybody knows the address of my website. It's newastrologiprepro.com. When you go tomorrow to my website, to the block appointment, there is an online booking system, agenda, right? You will see tomorrow the prices for the 30 minutes reading and for 60 minutes reading with a discount. So you will be able to book an appointment with me with a discount, or you know, book an appointment like in 1 week or in 2 weeks, in 2 weeks maximum, until the next live with the cards. Okay, you get me? You're getting me? 2 weeks to book. You can book during 2 weeks to pick up a day from now until the 2nd of February. But this possibility you will have only during 48 hours. Tomorrow, on Saturday, the half of 6 p.m. on Sunday, you will have the discount prices in my agenda. If you want to book, if you suddenly see this this live in recorded format, like in 4 days, and you will go to my website and the agenda, like next Wednesday, the discount will not be there anymore. Okay, so this I will offer each time, and I will do live with the cards on Facebook and YouTube. So 48 hours to ask you a small question for a symbolic contribution. But at the same time, if you want to order full service with me, 30 or 60 minutes, there will be discount, but only available during the 48 hours. All right? Sorry if you hear the dogs. I don't know if you hear them because there are dogs everywhere. I will have to invest in a better equipment to have the better quality of sound and picture, image. Okay, my friends. So I wish to all of you happy full moon, happy eclipse. Take care of yourself. A huge chapter of our life is behind 2 years of the axis Leo Aquarius, where the eclipses were formed. And I talk to you if you want to see me on Facebook tomorrow. Yes, I will share here the address of my Facebook page, because I always create events on my Facebook page. I announce the events via Facebook. If you want to see me tomorrow on Facebook, or tarot cards reading on the 24th on my birthday. But it will be, everything will be announced in advance. So thank you for your time, for your appreciation, English-speaking people. I'm doing my best. So, you know, it's very tiring to do it in 3 languages. So have a nice end of the week. Maybe I will see some of you tomorrow on Facebook and talk to you very, very soon in 1 week on the 24th of January during my solar return. Good luck to you. Bye-bye.